stun him before he runs! Freeze, Captain! Captain? Control, we have lost the captain. It's okay, everybody. Captain is gone. We have the studio for ourselves. We can put our phasers down. Everything's fine. Yes, Control? Yes, of course, Control. I'm wearing my standard uniform. No, Control, I'm not in short pants. Okay. The drones. I always forget the drones. Yeah, sure. Yes, Control, I'm gonna change it properly. Yes, Control, yes. Greetings, everybody. Agent Celtec, Section 31. Due to your personal safety and due to safety of the Federation citizens, we are closely monitoring every single comment posted on this channel. Due to that, I have noticed that people actually like me, and some of you have addressed your concern about the captain every time when we invade. Don't worry, Captain is always fine. We only sedate him, take him away, wipe his memories. He doesn't have a clue what is going on. Today I'm here for more concerning business. Look at this. A few days ago we have came across one of very particularly dangerous comments, stating that there is a flaw in the Centaur class design. This is unacceptable. You cannot say that. But you have ringed a lot of bells in Starfleet, and especially in our agency. Due to that, in today's video, we're going to be checking what is actually wrong with the Centaur class, if anything is wrong. If you have any problems with any of our starship designs, please address them. Don't make it so public. It's very bad for civilians to see and think that we're actually blowing our own starships with photon torpedoes.
First entered service in 2280s, Centaur was conceived as a vessel which could be constructed by use of spare parts that were used in building the old-style Excelsior and Miranda types. Centaur could be made without the need of a lengthy research and development that a new ship would need, making it fast productive, cost-effective vessel. Our main point today is to see will the launched torpedoes from the Centaur class strike the ship's hull. Although the vessel was heavily featured in Trek games, we never got a good look at it on screen. Due to that, I used Star Trek Online, Legacy, Armada, even Eaglemoss's figures and other sources to study the model. And they all look a little bit different, but still, they could all fire torpedoes with no issue. Before I even started, I had to confirm, is there even a problem with the Centaur within game? So first, I aligned the ship as best as I could, the front and starboard side, to have a look at launcher position, and I'll be damned. Look at this, entire forward section of torpedo launcher is covered by the sensor dome. At first, I thought the problem will be simple, such as launch torpedoes would gently graze the hull, which would still result in some shaking. See Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, when Reliant's torpedo grazes Enterprise's port side nacelle pylon. Even though it wasn't a direct hit, it shook the entire ship. If you still haven't seen the problem, I'll post these two poorly made torpedo trajectory graphs. As you can clearly see, the forward view shows how torpedo tubes are fully covered behind bottom sensor dome, and the lateral view shows us the trajectory and hull hit point of launched torpedoes. Mind me, I wouldn't like to be a crew member aboard this starship when we go to red alert. Torpedoes fired from this model, which is in STO, would not graze the hull. They would do a full-on hull collision. Such explosion would probably instantly take out ship's sensors, deflector, ventral phaser banks, and would potentially cripple the entire launching assembly. And depending on the warhead yield, they could potentially destabilize the antimatter containment fields. However, launching a torpedo doesn't blow up your ship within game. Sure, we can say it's just a game and it's not meant to be like that, but we already went too far to stop here. Now let's see why doesn't our ship explode when you fire a photon torpedo within game. I made a few recordings of torpedo launches. As you can see, they all fly normally, but then again, let's align our vessels. Here is 40% and 25% slow-mo of torpedo launch, and as you can see, that's quite a substantial hull graze. You will see the torpedoes don't actually launch from the torpedo tubes, but rather from the vessel's deflector array, which totally doesn't make sense. Still, torpedo follows proper trajectory. Before we keep on going, I would like to do a short commercial break in here. Point number 1. Torpedo launching hardpoint is set onto wrong place. Due to that we can say, phew, okay, that's why this ship doesn't blow to bits every time when the captain says, fire. But that is not realistic at all. I still want to know what is wrong with this model. At first I assumed that separation between torpedo tubes was not wide enough. If they would be wider, then they would have a clear line of sight to fire. However, no, it is not it. By visually comparing in-game model with other models, it suggests that the torpedo spacing is more or less the same. My next idea was that the launching pod was too small. However, by the same visual inspection that I've done in my previous step, I have seen that torpedo pod is almost the same size. So, if torpedo pod is okay, what is the problem? Is the sensor/deflector dome housing oversized? I checked. It is a bit, but it's not an issue. The problem is the ventral position of the primary hull. To be exact, the slope of the hull is too steep. The slope should be much smoother, which would reduce the internal volume of a ship. However, it would give a wide enough separation between the hull and torpedo tubes, so that the launcher would have a clear line of fire. But still, how do we fix the problem with the wrong hardpoint and torpedoes flying from the deflector? Well, we can say that torpedoes are simply ejected from the launcher, after which they travel in front of the deflector before they are armed and ready to activate afterburners to be propelled towards the target. But this sounds stupid and impractical, even dangerous. So, I propose this solution. Starfleet engineers have made a disastrous design flaw when they were building Tier 6 variant of Centaur. With further development of TR-116 rifles and creation of a Model 116B, engineering teams decided rather than to scrap the ships or to do a long, lengthy refits, to install a transporter into a firing tube, much like TR-116B does. That way torpedo can be armed, programmed and launched. However, before it would have enough time to exit the tube, it would be teleported in front of the deflector, and it would allow to continue its path towards the target, in the same way as TR-116B's rifle does with its own bullets that it fires. I know, you might be asking this now, oh Geronimo, but why wouldn't then the ship beam the torpedo behind enemies' shields and deal 100% shield penetrating strike, much like the TR-116B rifle does? And my answer to this is, you cannot beam through the ship's shields, but you probably can through the personal shields, due to them being much smaller and weaker. Ship shields probably have a lot more power flowing through them, and they're way denser than the personal variant, but we're entering really into a field of fiction right now. So, what can we take off from this video? Centaur class in-game is a gorgeous model, however, it comes with its own flaws. We're all human, we make mistakes, and at the end of the day this is just a game, and now I'm really nitpicking. Still, this is a fun little research and I really hope that you enjoyed. If you have any ideas why the Centaur is built like this and have any ideas how to resolve the torpedo problem, please let me know in a comment section down below. A massive thank you to all of my channel members. As I stated before, I'm on a summer vacation, so I do not know who gets shout out. I will try to check via the app and I will give the shout out via the pinned comment. Thank you so much for all of your support, crew. I love you all.
There we go, crew. This is the end of this video. I wish to personally thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you from the agency for sharing this information with us. So obviously, as you can see, the ship is perfectly alright. We have found a loophole in technobabble. This ship works properly. I can't say this as agent, however, did you know that Captain Geronimo is selling his own merch? I mean, I cannot buy it personally, but I have. Look at this. We have the black shirt, We have the white shirt. I obviously mustn't buy them due to my allegiance to Section. However, I have purchased both of them, and if you would like to be a proud owner of these shirts like I am, no control. I haven't purchased. Kill drone. How do you mean kill drone?
Los con que lana